Hey guys, I'm back. I've got a box of novelty candy that just came in, so I'm really excited about that. I've gotten a bunch of other candy from this seller. I think she's about dried up, a lady named Kim. Anyway, I've never heard of her until I started buying from her, but apparently she ran into a sizable collection of novelty candy. I would say around 2 bins full. And I bought most of them, and I believe this is going to be the last one. Maybe there's one more. I'm not sure. But anyway, let's get in here and see what's in here. Now, most of these lots have been from the early 2000s to the late 90s, which is sort of a dead spot. In my opinion, like as far as in my collection, I believe I've talked about this before. There's something about the early 2000s in particular, where you don't see a lot of that stuff come up on the market. But anyway, these lots have been having some of those items, so let's get in here. If you hear a noise in the background, they're actually refinishing my cabinets, and we're getting like some renovations done in our home, so it's been crazy around here. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here, so let's dive in. The first thing out of the gate is going to be a NASCAR themed novelty candy helmet. Unfortunately, it's a little large. That's what she said, but as a candy collector, I'm always looking for, let me just show you real quick, kind of this smaller size items. And as you can see, it's almost triple the size of a classic novelty candy container. This has been my complaint, honestly, since the 90s. They just keep making candy bigger and bigger and bigger, just like everything at retail, right? But anyway, great first item. Let's move on. Next up is an awesome candy yo-yo. This is from the great mind of Jimmy Chan, the creator of Topps Garbage Pail Kids. Every time I get in an awesome candies product, I'm going to talk about Jimmy Chan at least once, but very cool there. This would date to, I believe, 2002. Next up is just a dud. I hate getting these in. I believe I've said this in the past too. These are the 1997 Albert's fucking pacifier things. They're super dorky and dumb and aggravating. I don't think I've ever sold one in about 20 years. I have just bags and bags of these that I've just set unsold in my store. One of these days I'm going to set them up on a bench and get a shotgun. I don't have a shotgun. I'm going to blow them away. All right. Next up is quite a nice one. It's unfortunately crushed, but this is I guess you could say a Series 2 trolley gummy burger. They came back and made a cheeseburger, and this is the cheeseburger one. You don't see this one much. In fact, up until a couple years ago, I didn't even know they existed, and now randomly I have like 4 of them sitting around. All right, next up, a couple of these bottle pop, baby bottle pops. I collect these too. At least I don't sell them when I get them, is what I mean. I don't seek these out. I don't go around looking for them. That said, before I forget, Topps has just put out Halloween push pops and Halloween baby bottle pops. Now, we'll be buying those and reviewing these on this channel. But anyway, these are going to be from probably 2005-ish. Now, they are very good at dating baby bottle pops, so we'll get a confirmed date off these, I'm sure. At least one of them. The ones that aren't dated tend to be the oldest ones. Okay, this one dates to 2007. Notice it has a lanyard, Christmas ornament feature. I've actually never seen this variant, and that's very rare from Topps. I don't think I've ever seen an ornament set up from Topps, ever. So that's actually pretty special. Notice this makes a bell. It's not just a cap, it's a bell, like a Christmas bell. So that adds to the flair, pun intended. All right, let's dive deeper into the box of mystery. Next up looks to be a brain, but unfortunately it's not that cool. It's going to be these are made by Impact Confections. I have a ton of these. This is actually one of the better ones. This is their snow cone variant. Now it has a super liquidy corn syrup that you literally squeeze over your snow cone, which is basically a lollipop. Notice it has a hole in it. Looks kind of phallic. Now this used to be purple. You know, grape purple dye in food coloring tends to turn yellow or green over time. So that's the unfortunate thing. If you own any old grape candy items, they're not purple anymore, are they? They're yellow. But anyway, very cool. These are notorious for leaking. They're horrible. They suck to collect. I can get you in there. Let's find that impact. It says it there. Impact. 2003. These date 2002, 2003. I get them with different dates, early 2000s. Next up is one I get in a bunch. It is still kind of scarce though, if that makes any sense. But this is by Uniconfis out of Atlanta, Georgia. These date to 1997 typically. Now there is a second series for these, but this is the first one. They're kind of dorky. I wish the rocket was skinnier. That's what she said. There is a very cool alien mascot. I wish he was larger. Really, the whole front should be this big alien face. But they went with a super small rocket that you can hardly see. These two are notorious for leaking. This one has already started the process of decay. Next up, oh yeah, we got this in a couple months ago, if you remember. This is by Good Light, which is it's basically like a party favor / candy generic place, sort of like Oriental Trading Company. But these date to the mid-90s, I believe 1995 actually. But this is their very random rock necklace. I don't know if they were trying to play on the Flintstone movie that came out in 1993 or not, but they missed the mark, and anyway, that's what that is. Next up is one I didn't have because it's dumb, but it's a screwdriver, obviously. There's a lot. This is a whole genre by itself of novelty candy. It falls into it's more like this, in line with this, than with more of the mainstream releases. Like, this is something that was not in every Walmart. This is something that was kind of regional. You probably had to order it, if you're a dealer, out of a catalog. Oh, it says it right there. Walmart. Yeah, this is a Walmart exclusive screwdriver. Very dorky. Okay. This one caught my eye. I've actually never held this before. Well, I mean, I've never held any of these, but I meant like as a collector, I've never had this before. It happens to be sealed, and it happens to be a milk chocolate item. Now, one thing I do know about these, one thing that's really cool is, I just dropped it. There's a car in here. It's a race car that's in the shape of a chocolate. Unfortunately, they should have put a clear cello window here so that we could maybe experience the car. That would have certainly been a better way to sell this thing. I imagine a lot of people just walk by this without knowing that it was a novelty car inside of it. But anyway, still cool. It's got a checkered flag that's in pretty cool gold and black coloring. 50 years of NASCAR. I'm not a NASCAR person, by the way. Man, that noise is annoying. I hope you guys can't hear what I'm hearing. They're literally drilling shit downstairs. Anyway, next up is another one of these party favor genre candies. Now, I love these things, honestly, because they're obscure. But most people just don't collect them at all. And I did not have this one. I'm sorry, I'm looking for a company. A lot of times there's no company, because what they'll do is they'll make a bunch of these and they'll give them to different distributors who will put their own label on it, if that makes sense. And that's what we have here. But it does say Guatemala. Yeah, an old cell phone. Yeah, this is turning out really good, guys. I'm better than I thought, and we're halfway there. Next up is a mini gumball machine, but instead it has candy. Without looking, I would imagine this is made by Kids Mania. Let's see if we can confirm any of that. And we can't. There's no label. All right. Next up, yeah, these are pretty cool. This is a sucker egg lollipop. And I've noticed recently that they come with different flavors. I thought they were all the same, but I actually found one that said Hawaiian Punch on it. And this one obviously is Fruit Punch. And I don't know how many there are. Unfortunately, it started the melting process. But yeah, pretty cool. Suck an egg. Next up, one of my favorite candies of all time, Smarties, made by the CD Candy Company. This is their mini lunchbox, probably 2005 if I had to guess, but we're going to get a date off this thing. Okay, I was wrong, 2012. Now, it does say best if used before. Now, Smarties have a shelf life of 3 years. Because they're a candy tart, they last for years on the shelves, but they typically put a 3-year shelf life on them. So this is probably honestly from 2009, but pretty cool. Oh, the front of it is actually embossed or whatever. Yeah, punched out. Pretty cool. Look at that. This is one I was eyeballing. I didn't have it because it's super obscure, but it's a marshmallow novelty French fries with a candy ketchup packet. Super cool. This is, like I was talking about earlier, this is coming from the early 2000s, this window of time that was dark, and maybe due to 9/11 or something. I've never really known. But this is made by one of my favorite novelty companies, Candy Castle. They're the makers of Brain Squeeze candy that you may or may not have seen me open in the past, but very cool. Again, sorry for the background noise. I don't know how bad it's affecting this. Okay, so this is made out of tin. We're in the era of tin candy. That started, it's been like 10 years at this point. Now, of course, they've been making candy tins before they made plastic ones, but I'm talking about novelty candy tins have only come about in the last 10 years. And nowadays, you see this more than you see plastic. So I guess it's cheaper. Anyway, this is an arcade of Pac-Man. Now, back in the day when I was a very small child, I was more of a Mrs. Pac-Man fan. I thought the map was better on the game. I'm talking about the map. Much better, actually, and way more addictive. But Pac-Man was pretty fun, too. Pretty cool. Okay, looks like we have one more layer. I want to peel this back a little bit, and we're going to take it slow. That's what she said. Okay, next up is a 1996 Amaral paint box. I get these in constantly, almost monthly. The only special thing, they come with different paintbrush colors, so that's the only treat that is unique to this if you collect these. I swear I've seen probably 20 different paintbrush colors, so I guess you could collect them all, I reckon. But this is the mint one. And the idea is that it's super vile, but basically a child would stick a paintbrush in their mouth. Now listen, I was a art teacher, elementary school art teacher for a good bit of the time, for 22 years. And here's an actual paintbrush. I taught my children and my students to never put your paintbrush in your mouth. For obvious reasons, safety concern, blah, blah, blah. But in this product, you literally lick the paintbrush and you rub it on these pans of candy watercolor. They don't work. And that's how you consume this. I imagine most kids got really bored with that and just stuck the whole fucking cake, let's call them cakes, paint candy cakes in their mouth and just ate them and probably tossed the rest. This was not a popular product in anyone's world ever. And that's probably why I get them in almost every lot, it feels like. Next up is, I think I've talked about this too. I actually collect candy purses. I know it probably seems gay, but to me they're super cool. And some of them are super cheesy, and this one's particularly trashy. Something maybe a prostitute would have. No, but this is made for children. This is a candy purse. Inside is one of my favorite candy forms, which is the candy necklace, timeless. It comes with a charm and some other miscellaneous extra beads and stuff. Has kind of a corny mascot, unfortunately, but yeah, this is going to date to, well, it says it here, best before 2012. Again, this is probably, though, 2009, 2010-ish, though. Whew, I'm talking a lot. Okay, the next one is made by Unicorn Fists out of Atlanta. I believe, actually, I need to check. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've gotten this one. But this is a coffin candy, only released around the Halloween holiday, which we're in now, by the way. This is the Ghoul Gum. Pretty cool. It's super large and kind of, it feels cheap and annoying. But anyway. Next up is, I always date these incorrectly in my live streams. This time I'm not going to do this. I always say these are 87. They're actually 1990. This is a 1990 Topps Sneaky Snacks. The idea behind this is that a child... these were always released around back to school days. And children would buy them. And it has a functional eraser here. But inside here, it's hollow. And there's candy. And so while you're in class, while your teacher's watching you, you would erase. And when the teacher's back to you, you would open this and slip you, whatever you keep in there. I wouldn't trust kids nowadays to bring this to school. No telling what they would put in that little compartment. Got to be really careful in the classroom these days. It's a lot different back in 1990. Next up is one of my all-time favorite candy lines, Push Pops. I'm obsessed with them. Always been. So, but this is their Christmas one. Unfortunately, over the years, they've been super lazy, and they've kept the same Santa sculpt since, I believe, 1997 when all this started with the holiday theme ones. But this is the same old one, I believe. I'm going to have to check. It does happen to have the ornament string. Sometimes they're missing, but pretty cool. Oh, this one's a banger. I love this. Maybe the third one I've ever got. Oh, this one's not sealed. We're going to open this. This is a Christian bookstore novelty candy. This was sold in Christian bookstores. It's the fish-shaped candy mix. And it happens to be open, so here's a treat for you. We'll get to see what's inside. It's just some boring mint fish. Goes along with, Christian stories. I'll spare you that today. But has a date of 2011, but these are probably from 2009, but pretty cool. The best one of all time is they made, and I have it, I just can't get it right now. They made a Bible book candy. It came in a tin, and when you opened it, the mints were in the shape of Bibles, and they had a paper little sleeve on them that said Holy Bible, and that's my personal favorite Christian themed novelty candy. But pretty cool. Got a couple more things. Next up is a classic. This is another one that I date wrong sometimes. These actually date to the late 80s. And I was very surprised to find that out a couple years ago. I was going through trademarks. And that's one thing, if you guys want to know when this stuff is from, or maybe whatever you fucking collect, look up the trademark. Go to Justia.com. It's like a legal website. There's some other ones, but Justia is the best one. But anyway, if you look up Eggums on Justia, they actually date to, I believe, 1988. Now, of course, this ran through the 90s, and I think they actually brought this back in the 2000s. But this is going to be one of the early ones. Now, it's not the earliest one. This one says Hershey chocolate. The earliest ones say Leaf. So this is going to be probably 1991, 1992. And lastly, we got a good one to end on. This is one of those obscure ones from the early 2000s. I did not own this one. It's very beautiful. This is all marshmallow that's been airbrushed with confectionery dye. It's quite beautiful. Maybe one of the best ones I've ever seen, actually. It truly does look like a pizza, but maybe a little better. Yeah, the Foreign Candy Company. No date. Oh, I'm sorry. There is a date. Yeah, 2006. All right, guys. Let's do a quick review. So I got a really kind of a quiet favorite lot in. Better than I thought. I just clicked by it now real quick. It was like $20. Yeah, I got these really cool marshmallow novelties. Got sort of these big dorky ones. That definitely fit the bill. And then it got some tops, man. Actually had a nice little grouping of tops. Got some early Baby Bottle Pops. This one's probably 2002, so it's a pretty early one. That's tops. And then hopefully you can just see the rest. But the only real surprise, this was kind of a surprise, even though it's dumb, but I mean, there's a lot of good surprises in here. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I did get some things in from Walmart, and well, this came from the pharmacy, but I hadn't seen this variant. They changed it from red to a salmon color, so I picked that one up. But these came from Walmart, so you can look for them in your own Walmart. Freeze-dried candy, you know, that came about 3 years ago. We're still in sort of this autism-inspired toy candy era. It started with fidgets back during the pandemic, but now freeze-dried candies are something they pass around at school, especially in the special ed department. You know, typical or atypical children or whatever love the texture of these for the most part. Anyway, how do you know all this stuff, Russ? I picked this one up too. I was kind of hoping there would be a Beetlejuice something or other, but I didn't find anything. Shackalicious, I guess this is a new candy line now. Picked that one up, so look for that. Got this one the other day. Now, I did see this size bag of this one, but I didn't pick it up. You got to have some boundaries. Got some Sharpies I'll be using for some art. Got the new box of Sour Boogers. They took away the mascot. I reckon he's on the back and then the logo, but it used to have this character on the front. That's a damn shame. Not sure why there's not a big nose on it. And then I picked up, last thing, we'll end with this. I picked these up. Not sure why they were in my local Walmart. They appear to be some sort of maybe Mexican or something. They're from another country. It does have a boxing glove, so I'm going to always love it. I'm not sure what Zappo means. I'll look it up. But yeah, guys. Whew. That was a lot. Oh, I found this on the street. I pick up candy wrappers on the street. I found that too. It's kind of beat up. Yeah, so this was actually a pretty good find. It's a Wrap Snacks of Little Baby. Thank God I found it, so I didn't have to buy it. But yeah, I collect all the Wrap Snacks. I happened to not own this one, so it was pretty cool to find on the street. It had a bunch of ants in it, but I cleaned them up. All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed at least some of that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm going to go chill. It's been kind of a crazy day running errands and stuff. What are Mondays for, right? All right, guys. See you in the next one. I'm a Russ fan out. Little baby.